Today's video from Sam4S, we're taking a look at financial reporting on your NR-500 series register. So in this video I'm using the model 510R, but for the purposes of the video what we're covering would be useful if you've got a 520 or one of the flat keyboard machines, a 510F or a 520F. What we're going to do is we're taking a look at what the titles mean on the end of day report. So every time you run a financial report, whether it's a X1, Z1 or a periodic report, you get a lot of information print out, a lot of totals, a lot of figures, and we're going to break down what they all mean. It's going to be quite a long video. I'm going to try and split it into 5 main sections. In the first section we'll just do some really straightforward sales and just have a look at the report, perhaps cover the tax and the different method of payments and the PLU totals. In the second part we'll take a look at cancels, error corrects, voids and refunds. So we'll do some and then show you where they appear on the report. We'll also look at discounts, so we'll take a look at item discounts and subtotal discounts and again show you how they render on the report. In the fourth part of the video we'll look at some anomalies like paid outs, received on accounts, no sales and non-ad numbers, and then I'll try and bring it all together in a kind of final summary fifth section. So the purpose of this video is I've been supporting tills on and off for 25 years, and I'd say probably the most popular, most frequent and most difficult call we ever get is my tills not adding up, and a lot of the problems come from the report having a lot of information in there that isn't necessarily useful or isn't obvious what it is. So I'm going to try hopefully step by step and go through each one. Feel free if at the end of the video, obviously these machines are customizable, so yours might be programmed slightly differently to mine. I've got a couple of discount buttons set up and a couple of VAT rates programmed in, but other than that it's kind of like as the standard programming. So if you've got something coming up on your reports and you've got an NR-500 and I don't cover it, send me a message and when I get a chance I'll take a look at it for you. Okay, so let's get into it. The first section we'll just do some really simple sales, run a Z report and then have a look at what's happened. So first of all I'm in the registration mode and I'm going to ring through £10 into my PLU1, which is grocery. I've got this one set up with a tax rate 1. So international viewers, I'm in the UK, and our VAT rate currently in 2024 end of is 20%. So this till is set up so that £10 is inclusive of VAT. So it's £8.33 roughly, I think, and then plus the 20% gets you £10. And then I'll put through £10 into a PLU that doesn't have any tax on it, and I'm going to cash the sale off. So obviously on this machine we've got different methods of payment. In the video I'm just going to use cash and charge. So that's a £20 sale in total. If I repeat that now, subtotal, and then this time I'll use the charge button, so I use that if I'm taking a payment by card. So I've got 2 receipts print out, both for £20, one cash, one charge one, and then both in the same PLUs. And the reason why I've done that is it'll just make it a lot easier when I'm doing my end of day report to interpret it all. Okay, so obviously quick word on the report. You can do X reports on these machines, and the big difference between X and Z is that X does not reset. So you would use X if you want to see how much money you've taken so far, and you generally use your Z at the end of the day, so you're resetting the data as well as doing the cashing up so that it's at 0 for tomorrow. So I'm now going to do a Z report to keep everything in line and everything simple. So Z reports, cash, 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 financial, daily, Z1. I'll do another video looking at PLU reports and the other reports you can get, but the big one is the financial report because it's the most complicated. So this makes me laugh. We've done 2 really simple sales and we've generated all that information. So what is it all? So at the top obviously we've got Z1 report and it tells us when the last report was run, which is useful. Then we've got financial, PLU plus PLU total for £40. So this can trip you up. So on the machine you can have positive and negative PLUs. So that line there is a total of all the positive PLUs that you've sold. So we've sold 4, which is correct because we sold grocery, news, grocery, news, and the total is £40 because we put £10 for each one. What's a negative PLU? A negative PLU could be something like a deposit return, a gift voucher redemption, a bottle return. So you are using the PLU to pay money out of the till. So what would appear is if you'd sold negative PLUs, they'd now appear here. So you'd have minus PLU total, and then your adjusted total is a combination of both. Obviously mine's really simple because I've got a simple till with very simple sales on it. So that's the PLU, that top bit there, that's that covered. So then we go on to the tax. So we've got non-tax, TAX1 SALES, TAX1. What does all that mean? Obviously non-tax is my sales through my PLU number 9, this one, which is set with no tax on it, so it's £20 and it's non-taxable. So that would be non-taxable products, such as toilet roll, milk, that sort of thing, books. Then I've got TAX1 SALES, so that's the £20 through my taxable PLU, which was grocery, and of that £20, so this machine is set with VAT to be added in, so that any sales through a taxable department are inclusive of the tax. So I've got a tax content of £3.34, so it must be that 16.66 or 6 plus the 20% VAT gets you to £20. Beneath that, this is where it can start to get a bit confusing. We've got net sales, so it shows you how many sales you've done as well as the total value. So net sale 2, we did 2 separate sales, and then £40. Gross sales is one to be wary of. On this easy report, it's the same because we've done no discounts or refunds or anything. So I'll look at gross sales in more detail later on in the video. Cash sales, we did 1 cash sale for £20, and then the cash in draw is £20, so that's correct. And this CH in draw is 1 and then £20, so that is an anomaly with the machine. The cash sales here is 1 and 20, cash in draw is 20, which is all correct, but they've set it so that the charge in draw is 1 and 20 instead of just putting the value, but there you go. And then charge 1 sales is 1 and 20. So basically that's just, there's almost too many lines there for me, but all it's telling you is that you've had £20 in cash and £20 in charge. So you're expecting your card machine to total £20 and your cash in draw to be £20. You then got a draw total of 40, PLU total level 1, so you can in theory on the machines have a different level of PLUs. I've only got level 1, so mine's straightforward 4 and 40, and then down here you've got average item customer, so I've got it's 2, so the average was 2 per customer because we each had grocery and news, and then the average spend customer was 20. So I appreciate it's a really easy basic report to interpret, but obviously that's kind of like the whole point to make it make sense to you. Yours will have a lot more bigger figures, but also not rounded off so easy. So it's easy to trace it when you've got 2 sales. I totally appreciate that. But that's basically what all those bits of the report mean. Okay, so now we'll start looking at more complicated stuff. What happens when you do cancel sales, error corrects, and then use the void mode and do refunds. Let's go through it. So if we go back into the reg mode and we'll do a cancel sale. So if we do £10 into grocery, £10 into news, and then cancel the sale immediately, so we get a cancel sale report. If we now run a quick Z report, so the cancel sale does not affect the report totals. You've got your grand total still at 0, but the cancel does appear on the report. So you've had 1 cancellation for £20, but it hasn't affected. There's no cash in draw, there's no charge in draw, there's no net sales or gross sales. So cancel sales just appears on the report to tell you that a sale was cancelled, but it in no way affects any of the actual totals. Let's have a look at error corrects. I'm pretty sure that error corrects are the same. So we'll do the same type of sale, but we'll error correct the last item. So that's news error corrected. This will look a bit more complicated because we've had to cash the sale off because we haven't cancelled it. So if we take a look at this report now, we've obviously one of those, the sale we did was for £10 effectively for grocery, but the news element of it was cancelled, so it's a £10 cash sale. So our PLU positive total is 10, that's correct. Non-tax sales is 0 because we error corrected the news. TAX1 sales is £10 with the tax content on there. There's the error correct, so it records it. So it's the number of error corrects done during a day and the value. Gross sales is £10. Cash sales is £10. So the key takeaway from that is the error correct is exactly the same as the cancel. It appears on the report, but only to tell you that the button was used. It doesn't affect the totals in any way at all. Okay. Back to reg. In fact, let's go to void mode. Oh, that's not helpful. So we've got EJ full error. So let's reset the EJ. There we go. Back to void mode now. We'll put through a void and show you how that renders on the report. So £10 into grocery, £10 into news, cash. So we've done a void. We'll go round to the Z position, run the Z report. Oh, press cash too many times, give the camera a wallop. So there we go. So we did a void there. So £20 void. So obviously because that's minus 20 as the final subtotal, that's going to appear on the report. So it's basically the same as the very first report we ran, but it's in reverse. So it's -2, -20 on all the totals. Non-tax is -10, tax1 is -10, and the void is registered there. So a void, and then obviously all the cash balances are -20. So yeah, that's a void. Obviously is going to appear. I say obviously, but I had to test it. It's going to appear because it's affecting the cash balance. So if we take a quick look at returns, so we do merchandise return. We'll just do £10 into grocery, cash, Z it off. If you feel like I'm going too quick, feel free to pause the video at any point. I'm just trying to cover as much ground as possible in as short a time as possible. So on this one we've done a return or a refund for £10, and yep, it's on the Z report at the end of the day, it's minus for everything. So obviously a refund will render on the report, and it's there, return -10, 1. So again, it's the quantity. So the quantity is the amount of times the return button was used, and obviously the value amount is the value of those returns. Again, appreciate it's really easy for me because I'm doing one transaction and then doing one report. So we go back to the registration mode now, and we'll take a look at the discounts. These can be complicated because of the different ways they work. So on the machine as standard, on the 510R or 520R, you have one discount button, %1, and I've also set my price inquiry button up to be %2. %1 is set to give a discount off an individual item, and then the other one, %2, is set to give a discount off a subtotal. If you want to set these functions up I'll have a video explaining how to do that as well. Okay, so if we do £10 into our grocery department, £10 into our news, the PLU's actually on the Sam4S's, and then we'll do a 10% %1 discount, subtotal, cash that off. So that's the discount has come off the news. This is really important. We've taken 10% off our news. So we've got £10 grocery, £10 news, but the news is actually £9 because we gave a discount off it, and then a total of £19 cash. Now if we do a slightly different discount to show you, the reason why I'm doing two is obviously to show you how they appear differently on the report. So on this sale we've got £10 grocery, £10 news, we've subtotaled. Tell you what, I've made a mistake there. Let me cancel that one off because of the VAT. So this is where it can get really complicated. We'll do £10 confectionery, then we'll do subtotal 10% %2 cash. So on this sale here we've got grocery £10, confectionery £10, and then we've taken 10% off the total sale, so it's taken 10% off the total, so we've actually got a sale of £18. So let's have a quick look at what it's done with the report. Okay, so this is where it can get really confusing. So our PLU total is 39. You might be thinking, well, that's wrong because we've got 19 and 18, but the way it works it out is that this discount, because it came off the total sale, it hasn't taken it off the PLUs. So far as the till's concerned, the PLU totals for this sale are £20, £10 grocery, £10 confectionery, and then on this sale it's £10 grocery, £9 news. So that's how it's come up with that £39 of PLU sales. We've then got non-tax sales of £9, TAX1 sales of 28. That might be, yes, that's because I've used free. So £9 went through news, which is non-tax, and then £20 went through grocery, and £8 must have gone through. It's taken the tax off with the, so this percentage too, it's taken the tax off the taxable departments. So that's why that's 28, because the second sale was only taxable departments, which is why I switched to confectionery instead of news. There's the cancel sale that I did just to slightly confuse things. So we've got a net total of 37, which is correct because we've got 19 and 18, and that's mirrored in the tax. So we've got non-tax sales of £9, TAX1 sales of 28, which gives us 37, and then the tax content is £4.67 of that £28. We've got gross sales down there. This is where the gross sales starts getting a bit unreliable in terms of your cashing up. So it's at 40 because that's the total amount of sales we rang through. It was £10 grocery, £10 news, and then discounted slightly, and then £10 grocery, £10 confectionery. So the gross sales, it's crucial that you know this, it ignores discounts. Your discounts are listed here: £1, 1 discount, and then %2, 1 discount for £2. Cash in draw, because I did both sales as cash, is 37. So again, it's kind of backing up that your key totals are your net sales and then your draw total. So on this occasion it's just cash in draw, draw total is all at 37. Okay, so I hope that made sense. I got a bit confused myself then when I did that cancel sale in the middle of all that. But yeah, that's item discounts and percentage discounts. They appear and are factored into the net sales and the cash balances and the draw balances, but they are not factored into the gross sales. So finally, if we look at some of the other functions that might cause a bit of confusion on your report. So we've got functions on the till like received on account. So you could use this for setting up a float. So you use it, so let's say received on account, £50, cash, received on account. So that has entered £50 into the draw, so that could be a float, for example. You've also then got a paid out function. So paid out works the same way. You press paid out, then you enter the value that you're paying out. So let's do £10 cash. Let's say someone's done a coffee run, or we've got to pay a supplier out the till, £10. Finish it by paying out, so that's £50 float, £10 paid out outside of a standard sale. You've also got a no sale button here. We'll just doing that to show you where they appear on the report. And then what else can we do? We can add a non-ad. So you can add something called a non-ad reference number on the till, which can either appear at the top of the sale as a reference number or an invoice number, or can just be used in this way. So Z reports, financial. So let's have a look at what's gone on there. So this is an unusual report because we've not done any actual sales. So net sales is 0, cash sales is 0, RA1, because you can have multiple received on account buttons, but RA1 is £50. Paid out one is minus 10 because it was paid out. The no sale is logged on there. So again, that's a bit like the cancel sale. It's just there for your information. So if you see a lot of no sales on a Z report, you might think, well, why has someone pressing no sale all the time, opening the drawer. Your non-ad numbers recorded on there. Cash in draw total, so that's £40 because we had a £50 float and then a £10 paid out, so our draw totals 40. Okay, and then yeah, there were no sales, so these totals were all at zero. So that's all the main functions that I could find that would appear on an end of day Z report. So I hope that's kind of cleared a few things up. As I said earlier in the video, I probably haven't covered everything. There's going to be more items on there, and obviously your report's going to be a lot more difficult to digest because you're not doing reports after every single transaction. You're trading all day and then you've got a long report, but I just hope that kind of summary of what each of the totals mean kind of points you in the right direction. What I'll do in the description is I'll put a version of this, which is a document I came up with like a kind of summary of what everything means. And yeah, please, if I haven't covered something, feel free to send me a message on YouTube. Okay, and then in the meantime, check out the video links appearing on screen now. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel or visit sam4shelp.co.uk for more. Thanks for watching.